All right, guys, I'm gonna run through real quick the T.O.D bypass switch that I just did on my Via Cross. This is just gonna be a quick kind of shotgun video showing you what I did. All right, so this is the shopping list of stuff that I needed to get. This is all on Amazon, by the way. I got it all for under like 30 bucks. Got a fuse holder, then a pack of resistors. Make sure they're 10 watt, 10 ohm. And then they have this really great wire pack on there. It's 18 gauge, like most automotive wire is. And it's all different colors, so you can color code some stuff. It's got some zip ties. And you're going to need that just to make sure your switch can reach everywhere that it needs to reach. And make sure you get a pack of fuses that are whatever size your fuse holder is. You're going to need a 10 amp for that. Follow those guides that I link below. There's one that goes for a project box version, and then there's one that's kind of a modified version that uses a hazard switch like I did. Read completely through those. Those go way more into depth and a lot more well-versed in electrical work. But I was still able to figure it out. So I'm just going to run through you guys real quick what I did for Via Cross. So I took off the panel right here and it kind of everything. So it's a little bit of a pain, but not impossible. And just for a quick reference, these are all the things that you will have to remove. These are what I had to remove. This is the front just dash trim cover with the AC lights. Not that hard to remove. You just have to remove a couple screws. They're all in fairly obvious areas. Another thing, it's just going to be easier for you if you unplug all of these versus trying to take off all the buttons. So you got your defroster, cruise control, and original hazard switch. Now this one is the light that's supposed to come on whenever you lock your car. It's fairly useless for me, and there's no immediate unplugging point. So I just clip the wires to make it easier. If I want to wire it up again, I will, but again, it's pretty unnecessary, so yeah. And obviously you have to take your passenger front seat off to get to the T.O.D ECU. It's just 4 bolts, 1, 2, 3, 4. The back ones are covered by a little cover, which just slides off. This will let you know pretty easy where all the screws are, because almost every screw that is attached to this thing is attached here. This is obviously the trim that's under the steering wheel that'll have to come off, just for ease of working your wires up behind the cigarette lighter. And then down here, this is your dimmer switch for your dash lights. You'll just have to unplug this too. Also, real quick, for removing this part, so this is where your hood latch is, and these two guys are what attach your hood latch release to this piece. There's another screw that's kind of hidden under this part, and that's the last screw you need to take off. It's at least the last screw I needed to take off before I took this piece off. It's hidden under this guy, so that's just another note. This is the cover that's under the entertainment center, if you want to call it that. This is what I'll be drilling the holes into to tuck the wires under. This is the 4-wheel drive transfer switch. I didn't really have to take that off. I thought I was going to. And this is another piece of trim. This one goes around your 6-disc changer, and it's right under your ashtray, and then the cigarette lighter right here. This just pops out. There are no screws attached to this, but you will have to take all of this out first. There were a couple screws holding this thing on, your 6-disc changer, this whole little assembly right here. There's a couple screws right here. I would recommend taking those off. I mean, you really have to. So you can pull this out and work with all the wiring that's behind the cigarette lighter right here. Also, for anybody who might be wondering whenever they're setting this up, this might be common knowledge, but again, I'm not electrical expert. The colors for the 12 volt and the ground on your cigarette lighter, the ground is of course black, but your 12 volt is going to be brown with a white stripe, not red. Took me a minute to figure that out. But just to save you the time of having to test and figure out which one, it's the brown with the white stripe. This is a hazard switch from a Trooper of the same year. And it has several of these wires going back. These two don't do anything, so they're going to be tied off. And if you follow the color code chart on the guide, it'll tell you which colors go where. But essentially, there is the 12 volt, which I've colored as the red wire down here. and that's tapping the cigarette lighter. Another important note on your positive wire, your 12 volt, which I've again have denoted as red, you're going to need a fuse holder. So something goes down with the system, this is what blows and it doesn't short your cigarette lighter or whatever you're tapping into. So that's all going to go stuffed up here. And then I have the black wire doing the same thing. This white one's technically attached to it. I have a double resistor pack that this white one is attached to, and there's another black wire that they're all attached to the same ground as the cigarette lighter. So ground and 12 volt is attached to that. Now there are a couple more wires that are coming from this that I've denoted with these blue and green wires. These are what are going to your T.O.D ECU and the clutch that turns your four-wheel drive on. So coming down here, this is very important to remember. If you have a 2001 Via-Cross, your wiring setup is going to be different than if you have a 1999 or 2000. Since I have a 2001, it's identical to the Trooper T.O.D wiring setup. All the colors are the same, but if you're doing this mod on a 1999 or 2000, consult your service manual because you need to see which wire is going from the ECU to the clutch down here. On a 2001, it is the light blue wire, just like it is on a Trooper. But like I said, 1999, 2000 is going to be different. So make sure you confirm which wire is going where. But what you're going to need to do once you do find that wire is cut it in two places. So you're going to cut it up here where the ECU connects to this plug right here. You're going to cut that, and then on the guide he says to put 2 spade lugs on it. So I did. So if you end up fixing your T.O.D and you want it to work like it did, you can just plug these two back together. But this wire, which is going directly into the ECU, this one is wired up to the switch, which will activate when it's turned on. And this green wire is attached way down here to the actual wire that goes to the clutch. So I popped out this little thing. This whole part's supposed to go down in this hole, but I'll go under here just to show y'all before I tape it all back up. This wire is going to the actual clutch, and this green wire is attached to that switch. So once you flip that switch on, it's going to activate the clutch manually and just give you a perfect 50-50 split for four-wheel drive when you're driving. So yeah, that's basically it. It's not really that complicated. It is a wiring job, but it's only 4. I know next to nothing about electrical work, and I was able to figure it out, so I'm sure you guys could too. Basically for storage, for our Via-Crosses, they have a dummy switch right here next to the security light, right under the original hazard switch. So that's where I'm going to be putting this one. This one originally had a hazard switch cover on it, but I took it off and I ordered a button from an Isuzu Rodeo, which had just a regular 4-wheel drive button on there. That is just for aesthetics, so I know I'm pressing the 4-wheel drive button and not the hazard switch. All right, so very important note that I learned literally as I was editing this video. So the Rodeo 4-wheel drive button cover that I got has a different connection to its switch than my hazard switch did. So there's not really a way to connect this that's going to look nice. But I learned that there is another Isuzu switch that you can get that has the exact same hookups as the hazard switch. I don't know if it came on US models. This one I got from the UK, so maybe it's an Isuzu over there. But as long as it has these connections on it, it doesn't really matter if it doesn't have that bottom left one because that plug isn't going anywhere. Those wires aren't doing anything. But if you do want to get a 4-wheel drive switch in place of your standard hazard one, just make sure you get that one.
If you keep the hazard switch, then it doesn't matter. Just a note if anybody's like me and wants to have the four-wheel drive switch instead of the hazard one. But yeah, just I'm gonna clean this all up down here. The blue and green wire, I'm just gonna drill some small holes in the little cover that goes up here so I can line it through here, then through here, and then I'm gonna tuck it under the transmission and transfer case cover here, tuck it a little bit under this, and then route it out through here just so it's all under the seat and I'm not seeing anything. So another important note, because I was freaking out over this for a while because I didn't think it was working. The whole reason I'm doing this is because my check light is flashing and one of my speed sensors is shorted, and I didn't feel like spending, you know, $500-600 on a new one. But when you do this, your front wheels are not going to light up since you're technically bypassing the TOD system. You're just gonna have to feel it. So I went out on a test drive. You can feel the four-wheel drive engage when the switch is the on position, like you'll feel it when you're driving. Foolproof test is to check it out when you're turning, because your turning will feel a lot different, especially if you're trying to do a tight turn. So go test it out. That's how I did whenever I was driving. You don't need to reset the check light, and those front wheels are not going to light up. Just go take it for a test drive, do some tight turns, you will feel the difference. That's how you know if it's working. Yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know if you guys have any questions.